Welcome back, everybody. If you don't know me from the previous calls and other materials or whatever else, I'm Scott Andrews. I'm the first resident in Riverwalk, and I'm also the developer. Tonight we have a special guest with us. Dawn is kind of like our the community den mother or community. I call her the print queen of Riverwalk. She has all kinds of events, and we can touch on that later. But we had a really good one at her new spot with a casita and a barbecue, and had a bunch of people over from the neighborhood and we were grilling burgers, and it was like a normal barbecue like you would experience in like North America or wherever. So that was kind of nice and a wonderful experience for the parents and the fathers and the families. So we had that going on. What else did we have? We had a Father's Day brunch at Playa Venao, which was great. We had a big dodgeball event. It was our third annual dodgeball event, and we had something like 20 something teams. We had kids teams this year and women's teams. Some of the participants that won used their prizes. There was something like $3,000 worth of food and zip line and night stays, and there were awards for best costume. So it was a really cool family event that went on for 2 days. It's our third annual. But what really touched my heart was that some of the winners took the losers out, or the second place teams, and they took them out to have dinner together. And like that's the kind of stuff that makes me really happy when there's like this organic, positive community connection. So that was great. There's one more thing. Our school in the community now has the ability to administer SATs. So it's the only school outside of Coronado, or about an hour outside of the city, that is able to do that. So and then also we finished paving the first phase in the development. So we have buried power lines, buried cable. We have drainage. We have sidewalks. Sidewalks sound pretty normal probably to most of you, but in Panama or in this area, sidewalks are not such a thing because we're in the interior in a rural area. So I'm very happy about that. You can walk barefoot to people's houses and not get mud on your feet. If you live here, you'll understand that. So yeah, we've got a lot of progress. Things are moving. I think we have 6 houses being built currently. So a lot of positive things happening. There's always positive things happening. It just keeps getting better and better. But now I think I would like to talk to Dawn a little bit about her experience. Sure. Dawn was our first, other than my family, was our first resident here. And she brought her husband, some kids, she brought some grandkids, she brought some animals, and she brought a lot of positive energy, and she has events all the time, which are great for the community. She connects everyone. Her family has a reach like none other in this town. It's almost like an instant community. Her kids are walking to school every day, and her family is playing soccer with the locals. They're going to bingo nights. They're really taking advantage of all the things, and more so than probably my family, like taking advantage of all the things that can be enjoyed in the community. So I just wanted to introduce her again, lovely Dawn. And I'm very honored and proud that you guys are in our community, and that you're brave enough to be the first ones after us. And I just would like to, ask you to introduce yourself a bit, and then maybe touch on, some of the things that, brought you here.
Sure. Yeah, so we made the decision to move to Panama almost on a whim, so to speak, but back in February of 2024, I just had a stressful day at work, a stressful day on the board of directors I was on, and I said to my husband, this can't be it. There's got to be more to life than what we're kind of experiencing right now. And so we made the decision to come visit Panama. And coming out here, we took a 10-day tour, went from the city up to Boquete, El Valle, Pedesi, Playa Venao. Absolutely fell in love. It exceeded our expectations. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a researcher. I like to research. So I felt like I was really prepared for the good, the bad, and the ugly of Panama. And I have really found mostly good. I have not found a lot of bad or ugly. So it really exceeded our expectations. We decided to go back home and said, if we want to try and do this, what does it look like? And I really wanted to be able to bring our son and his wife and our grandkids here as well. So we went home and said, how do you guys feel about moving to Panama? And So we brought them out for a family vacation, did another 10 days, saw the same areas. And we really all liked this Playa Venao type area,
Mm,
but it didn't quite feel like home.
mm,
And our second to last day on
mm,
that trip, we were driving around and we
mm,
saw a billboard for
mm,
Riverwalk. And I'm like,
mm,
what is this Riverwalk place?
mm.
And went home and Googled it and back to the Airbnb and Googled it. And we called you guys and said,
Mhm,
hey, I know this is last minute. We're leaving
mhm,
tomorrow to go back to the city. Would you be able to squeeze us in?
mhm,
And you guys were very gracious and said, sure, come on out. And we canceled our surf lessons
mhm,
and went to your office
mhm,
and listened to the presentation. And it was really great just being able to kind of see the vision that you had
mhm,
and the passion you had behind it.
mhm.
And then we went ahead and you brought us out here to the community, and it was a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
grass field with lots of trees.
yeah,
And I look
yeah.
at it now and
Were
I'm like,
were the houses
it's
even
amazing.
done then, or
So the
were?
2 model homes,
Uh-huh.
and it was the week you had just moved in. So you
Oh,
were
great.
just moving in
Okay. Yeah,
to the neighborhood. But other
yeah,
than that, it was a big grass field. And so even when it was like, pick your lot, and it's just like,
yeah,
well, which lot of grass do we want? Right.
yeah. That's great.
But what I do remember about it, and I think my daughter-in-law can attest to this, is, we kind of got out of the car and again, it was rainy season, right? And
Hmm.
so it was overcast and it was actually
Yeah,
raining a little bit, but we get out and like you could hear the monkeys
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're just looking at the mountains behind us
Uh,
and it felt like home,
oh, that's
right?
great.
That was, I think,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is, we heard the presentation, all that was
Uh-huh.
great, but it just, the feeling that overcame us when we got here,
Yeah,
it just felt like home.
yeah,
And so we kind of dismissed all of the advice we had read about, right? Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
when you move to Panama, just rent for
yeah.
the first 6 months,
Uh-huh.
don't buy right away, don't buy in a development where there's not at least 10 houses built, like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of the
yeah,
advice that you hear. But there was something about like meeting you and
yeah.
Carlos and Fernando and, seeing this place, it just felt magical. And we were like, we're going to
Mhm.
take a leap of faith and we're going to
That's
see,
great.
see how
Yeah.
this
I
works.
remember when you guys first came into the office and that we were all connected like right away, like
Yeah.
that's happened a few times where people have like we've connected and the next day they like signed a reservation. And I remember that you've helped grow this, like build a lot of this stuff because you fine-tuned the house. You
Mm.
you designed your own house
Mhm.
in a special way.
Yeah.
You actually made adjustments to the standard contract, which we use today. So like you're not
Mhm.
only a resident, but you're kind of
Mm.
a like you've managed the growth and the development to a certain degree to fine tune it to where people like you will enjoy it,
Yeah.
and we another thing about Dawn, we can talk about other things, but we use Dawn as like a vetting process in the development. Every potential buyer has to go meet Dawn and Alex and go through their house, and this is a rule. And then you have to approve them. It's not like a fraternity or something else that
Mm.
I won't. I Another quote that I
Mm.
use all the time, and I won't tonight. But it's more of just making sure that we're all going to get along. We want people that are going to be happy here. We're not selling homes; we're selling community and experience and lifestyle. And then you personify that. So it's very proud to have you, as part of our community. Can you tell us a little bit about either the experience when you were going through like designing your house
Yeah.
and like
Mm.
I explained about the contracts a
Yeah.
bit, and
Yeah. Yeah. I
you
can do
helped us
that.
fine tune everything.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I think probably stands out the most is we
Mhm.
probably stressed you out a
You
lot.
did stress me out, but like we need it. We
No.
want to get better. We
Yeah.
wanted to get to where we are now, and we always want to get better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
It
we
wasn't
want to.
even about that though. It was literally when we signed the reservation for the lots that day, and we're like,
Yeah,
we'll probably build in about a year.
yeah, yeah,
In a
yeah,
year
yeah,
we'll build
yeah.
because we were on
Uh
a
huh.
5, then a 3-year plan, right?
Hmm.
And so when we got back from that trip after we
Hmm.
reserved the lots and said, yeah, we'll probably start building in a year.
Yeah,
And we get home, and the week
yeah,
after we got back, someone says, we'll buy your house fully furnished. And we're like,
yeah,
hey, Scott, I know we
uh,
said we'll build in a year.
yeah,
Can we start building tomorrow? Like,
yeah,
we
yeah,
need a
yeah.
house in 6 months.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember that. I remember
so yeah,
that.
from the stressful point, it literally
Yeah.
went from we're giving you a year to build to like, hey, can
Hmm.
you start tomorrow?
Hmm.
But what I think I really appreciated
Hmm.
about that experience was like you guys were just like, wow, that's an expedited timeline, but we're
Yeah.
gonna make it happen for you,
Mm.
right? And you guys pulled out all the stops
Uh,
to figure it out and to make it happen.
mm.
There's not a lot of builders, I think, that would have been so open to receiving our feedback on the
Mm.
contract And even just making some of the adjustments to the houses that we
Mm-hmm.
saw, because we knew what was going to work for us, and you
Mm-hmm.
guys were just very gracious about listening. Even
Mm-hmm.
if it was a wackadoodle idea, you guys
Mm-hmm.
listened and said, like, either we can or we can't do that, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know if there's anything you said you can't do, but
Mm-hmm.
you figured out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
And so that was really great. And your
Mm-hmm.
team was so helpful as far as like
Mm-hmm.
giving some furniture suggestions and
Mm-hmm.
appliances,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
sending me like, I like to design things. So I was like, where do I look for lights in Panama?
Yeah, yeah,
Not being from here, not
yeah.
knowing, and just sending me the different links that I can look
Mm-hmm.
at, and helping me kind of figure out what was going to work and
Mm-hmm.
not work. And, even giving me feedback on some of my design choices.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really nice to feel like I had a partner in all of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, I mean, in the end, we want to be happy. We all want to be happy here.
yeah.
That's first and foremost. And that the houses, like, as time goes by, like I think more of the houses like a vessel to experience and just make
Yeah.
it. It has to be perfect. It has to work properly. But I don't want people. You don't want people to think about your house. You want to think about living your life. And
Right.
so if you guys are happy,
Mhm.
I'm happy, and I live here, and my kids are here and everything. So
Yeah.
you the improvements you made have made a big difference. And this isn't going to be a love fest where I just talk about how much I like Dawn all night. But the point is, like, her impact has been, and her husband and her family, have made a positive impact that we would not be where we were without her. So this is a really good first resident, or to have
Yeah.
on the call. So I also want to ask you, about like your day to day. Like, I'm sure people think about Panama, oh, it's a different country and it's dangerous, and like everybody
Yeah.
always says that stuff. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, where you're from is more
Mm.
dangerous. Like, every city in the U.S. is more dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had anything robbed. Like, I mean, knock on wood,
Yeah.
nobody's robbed anything from me, and I never feel threatened or in danger at all here. There may be a time where we grow enough to where we need to, heighten security, but we have our own security. We have all of our own electricity, and we with solar, and we have our own water or options for such. And I want to keep leaning in on that. So we are owners of the community as a community, and we can make changes to the community. But I just kind of rambled on that a little bit. But I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you about how your day to day is, and how you are able to make your life here as easier than it is in the U.S. when you were there before.
Yeah. I love our life here.
Yeah, that's great.
The neighbors that have moved in to the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
I had never thought we would find such a sense of community as quickly as we
Mm-hmm.
did, and how we all just mesh and we all take care of one another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just the people that kind of surrounded, not even just in Riverwalk, but
Mm-hmm.
even just in the extended community,
Mm-hmm.
the local Panamanians that have invited us to their, rice harvesting
Oh, that's
festivals,
great. Yeah.
or birthday parties and things
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's just been such
Bingo
a
night.
welcoming bingo night. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, so
yeah.
fun. It has been such a welcoming environment overall. But we've kind of started our own little things. So like
Mhm.
one of our neighbors, Chris, that moved in, he moved here
Mhm.
with his dog, and we brought
Mhm.
our dogs. So we every morning at 6
Uh-huh.
a.m. we go and we do a neighborhood walk, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so we have some of the dogs from the neighborhood and some of the people from the neighborhood do a walk
Yeah.
around 6 a.m.
Does
and
River go
then
with you guys?
River goes with us.
Our
Yep.
dog goes with you. Yeah.
Yep, she does. She
And
does.
you babysat our dog for a while, and
Mhm.
Chris has actually, like, he just got here, and I kind of dumped our dog on him for a week, and he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, no problem.
No,
So
River is a
everybody
great.
loves animals, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So we do that and then go home, have breakfast, and then we walk our granddaughter to school.
Yeah.
So Skylar, we either walk or ride the bikes to school. And that's just
Mhm.
really a great way to start the
Yeah.
morning. You're going out and you're listening to the monkeys,
Yeah.
and it's just a really beautiful way to kind of start your day.
Mhm.
And then Geraldine
Mhm.
started a Playa Fit class so that we
Yeah,
can get a
yeah.
little bit of exercise. And
Uh-huh.
so Nicole and Alex and
Mhm.
Geraldine and I, like, we do apply a fit class every morning, Monday through Friday. We get together, and sometimes we go for a walk. Sometimes we go down to the beach. Sometimes we just do calisthenics.
Mhm.
Zumba's our new thing. We might start some water aerobics soon. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's great.
we do a little bit of exercise just to work on our health.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just whatever the day brings, right? So
Yeah.
it could be meeting friends down at the beach for lunch. It could
Mhm.
be, just having a relaxing day. It could be
Mhm.
gardening.
Yeah.
You just kind of figure out what your day entails. We do some volunteering with some
Mhm.
local groups. So
Yeah.
love being able to give back to the community
Yeah.
or do beach cleanups and
Yeah.
partake in those types of things.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you mentioned my daughter-in-law Claire and I. We play soccer
Yeah.
with the ladies teams
Yeah,
down
that's
every
cool.
Tuesday.
That's great. You do that.
Geraldine started a great class called Charlemos,
Uh-huh.
which is like a English-Spanish immersion.
Yeah.
So we get together with a lot of the local Panamanians, and they work on learning English, and we work on learning Spanish, which has been
Yeah.
super helpful.
Hmm.
She also started the Venao Adventurers group, and
Hmm.
so we do a field trip once a month.
Hmm.
We've gone everywhere from a recycling plant field trip
Hmm.
to swimming in the waterfall back
Yeah.
behind our neighborhood
Hmm.
to exploring some beaches in
Mm.
Pedicy. So, I mean, there's just always something that
Yeah.
you can do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like I'm just listening to this, and I've heard Dawn explain all this stuff before,
Yeah.
which sounds like she's a paid actor. She, which is not, it's not true. Like, she's rich. This is authentic. Like, I can see her house from here.
Mhm.
So for me, like, I just feel so blessed that I think that each one of you in the community. I mean, Andrew is helping run the Q&A right now, and he's in our neighborhood. Each person is actually bringing something to help the community, to help the town, and to help me. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's helping with something, and I can go house by house and explain it all, and it's pretty magical, and it's hard to think that it's all happening by chance.
Yeah.
And also, when you explain all that stuff about your life, it sounds like it's almost like an adults camp.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a dorm or something. Like, we're so close to each other that we can all do things together, but you don't have to do stuff
No.
together if you don't want.
No.
Yeah, everyone can do what they want with their house and in their house, and it's a community that you can access if you want, and not if you don't. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of the things that you mentioned is different than what we experienced in the US is like here when we talk about everyone wanting to kind of care for one another, it's like, hey, I'm going to Las Tablas,
Mhm.
do you need anything?
Yeah.
And it's put out in the neighborhood chat. So like if one
Mhm.
person's going somewhere,
Mhm.
they put it in the neighborhood chat,
Yeah.
who needs what, right?
Yeah.
We all share Price Smart orders and have
Yeah,
Price
yeah.
Smart deliveries and just split the cost of the delivery
Yeah.
fee.
And the pool cleaning
The pool,
machine.
the pool cleaning machine. We have a pool robot that some of us
Yeah,
all
yeah.
share. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it really is just kind of caring for one another
Yeah.
in that respect, which is really nice.
That's great. That's great. Can you touch a little bit on, like, how you get your groceries and doctors and like transportation and stuff like that? Like, how does that work? And is it easier than in back home, or is it harder, and is it more expensive? It's
Sure.
obviously less expensive, but I'm just just explain to them, like, it's always good for people to hear coming from a resident. I'm a resident also, but I talk a lot, and I'm sure people have heard me talk about everything, but it's much better coming from you, your experiences.
Yeah, I mean, overall expenses, there are some things that are much cheaper.
Yeah.
When we look at like our cell phone bills as an
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
back in the US, I think we were paying over $100 a month for a single line. And here our cell phone bill is $28.01 per month per line.
1 cent and 1 cent.
1 cent. Yeah, I gotta get the 1 cent in there.
Yeah. Dawn's very, very detail oriented, just to let people know, probably more so than anyone in the community, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we look at the expenses, like with the solars that you guys have built into these homes here, back when we were living in Texas, our electric bill would be $300 to $400 a month. We just got our electric bill for the month, and I think it was $17.20.
Yeah, that's great.
And last month, I think it was like $16.80.
And it won't go up,
Yeah.
because you have your solar system, a complete solar system, so it won't go up. The U.S. is going to keep going up.
Yeah.
know?
So the things like that, and then the water obviously is included with the community pH fee, but back home it was like, I don't know, there were times with the sprinkler system in Texas and the pool and stuff, it was $800 to $1,100 a month for water,
Well, that's
right?
crazy.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that are a lot less.
We have our own wells here, and then that's covered under the HOA, which we're trying to keep intentionally very low. Only thing with the HOA is the water system, and just like I'm so happy to see that we have the sidewalks and the cutting of the grass and the internal roads, and then the maintenance of the internal roads and everything, and then security. So when you run into problems with HOAs, when you have a lot of managed assets, and then everyone fights over what the resources should go to, and some people want the HOA higher or lower, but we intentionally keep everything low. And then as the town fills in, the community fills in, we will start expanding the commercial and places for kids to play, and have places for sports, and hopefully a clinic and a coffee shop. But it depends on what the community wants. So we
Yeah.
don't build something that is sitting there costing money and potentially under an HOA that nobody wants.
Yeah.
So I think that yeah. And then
But as far as food goes,
mhm,
like for groceries, I mean, some of it is
mhm,
comparable and some of
yeah.
it's less, right?
Mhm,
We do love to support the local fondas here. You can
mm,
get a delicious meal for about
yeah, yeah.
$5.
Mhm,
Or like if you go to some of the restaurants in town, they're
mhm,
still cheaper than what you are paying back in
mhm,
the US. I just went back to
mhm,
the US back in April, I think it was,
mhm.
and I was really surprised at how much the food prices had increased there.
Yes.
But we do Price Smart as far
Mhm,
as our main grocery deliveries, and then we
mhm,
supplement by going to like Extra or Super 99 when we
mhm.
go to Chitre and stuff.
Price Smart's a subsidiary of Costco.
Yep,
So
it's just like Costco.
it's and they deliver the food right to the development. I think Amazon also delivers right here, right?
Yeah, we get free
Yeah.
Amazon delivery. It's
I try to keep
amazing.
that away from my wife, so I don't use Amazon so much, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, you can get free Amazon deliveries here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
and Temu. I haven't done Temu, but I hear
Yeah.
Temu is a thing you can do here too as well. Um, but yeah, so I mean, there's things like that
Mhm.
that the cost is either comparable or less.
Mhm,
But
mhm. You can go ahead and say that like our fine dining restaurant is not cheap. The Demar restaurant we have in Venao, there are things that you can spend money
yeah,
on, and they can be expensive, but it's not something you have to be subject to every all the time.
no, but the experience also
Yeah,
justifies it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So it's good to have fine dining. I mean,
yeah,
we
yeah,
need somewhere to go when we have a special occasion, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm,
it's really nice to have that.
mhm. And what about like banking
Yep.
and all that sort of thing, like
Yeah.
transportation,
Yeah. And healthcare.
medical care?
Yeah, so I can tell you, we'll start with healthcare, I guess.
Okay.
We've actually experienced a lot of healthcare here, which has been
Mhm,
amazing. We have a doctor
mhm,
in Chitre. She speaks English. She's
mhm,
amazing. She,
mhm,
unlike the US, where you have to like call the office
mhm.
and maybe have the doctor call you
Yeah, yeah,
back in
yeah.
48 hours, the doctors
Primary
here,
care provider and all that
all of
stuff.
that
It's
stuff, yeah.
crazy.
Here
Expensive
they give you their
insurance.
own cell phone numbers, right? So you've
Yeah.
got their WhatsApp number, and our doctor has been
Mhm.
amazing as far as like answering us at 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
or if I take a picture, like, hey, I have this thing on my finger. What is this?
Yeah,
She'll send
yeah.
me like a prescription for it and
Mhm.
things like that. But the cost of the going to see a physician here
Mhm.
is less than what I would have paid for a copay back
Yeah.
in the States.
Mhm.
I've gone and gotten a mammogram.
Yeah.
So I've done that.
Your husband had a little minor surgery.
He did the platelet rich plasma
Uh-huh.
for his shoulders.
Mhm.
And the cost of those types of things compared to what you would pay in the US without
Mhm.
insurance, it's just a tenth. I mean, a tenth of what you would pay to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
those types
yeah.
of things. So
Yeah.
the healthcare here has been extremely affordable. We have decided not to, um, purchase insurance yet.
Mm, mm,
Anyway, we're kind
mhm.
of self-insuring,
Mhm.
but it's been wonderful.
Mhm. Mhm.
And all of the doctors that we've met here
Mhm.
have been absolutely amazing. I don't know what it is, but I also feel like the medicines that they prescribe here, and maybe it's because you can't get everything just at like the local store.
Yeah.
So you're not just kind of filling your body with all the different types of meds, but
Mhm.
they just seem to work better or
Yeah,
faster
yeah,
or something.
yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of weird.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I think you're also breathing fresher air. You're
The
you
food
got
is healthier.
like nature all around you,
Mhm.
and I think that contributes. Like, it sounds a little hokey, but like I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Also at the school, the kids are, they're in a little valley with a waterfall, and then there's monkeys living there, and I feel like that adds like an X factor to their education. Like it
Mhm.
stimulates them in a certain way that is intangible. So I feel like we're all just generally healthier here.
Yeah, the food definitely. Like when I've gone back to the States and I've come back,
Mhm,
you feel different. You
mhm.
feel, I don't want to say lighter, but you feel
Yeah,
lighter. There's something about just not
yeah,
having all the steroids and hormones
yeah,
and
yeah,
artificial
for
ingredients,
sure.
the fresher foods.
Mhm.
Banking wise,
Yes.
we still have our
Yep.
bank in the States, but we
Mhm,
also opened up a bank here. We
mhm,
use Banismo.
mhm,
And so here, a lot of people will do bank transfers.
mhm,
It's a common way of paying,
mhm,
people paying one another. Even if
mhm.
like you're like, hey, can I buy a couch from you?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah.
I'll just transfer you. I do a bank
Yeah,
transfer.
or Yappy, which is
Yeah.
like,
If you
yeah,
have Yappy
or
with your bank.
ACH, either
Yep.
way, yeah.
But people here still use PayPal. They still
Yep.
use Venmo,
Mhm,
all of the
mhm,
things.
mhm,
But for us, we can do a transfer from our American bank into our Benismo account if we need
mhm,
to.
mhm,
It's just like a wire transfer.
mhm,
You can write a check to yourself and
mhm,
deposit it into your Panamanian bank account.
mhm,
But for the most part, we just that's how we exchange money with,
Mhm.
local things that we're buying here
Mhm.
is through that. So,
And what about transportation?
yep.
Was it easy to get a car? And
Yeah.
is servicing a car, is servicing cars a lot cheaper? I'll just go ahead and answer that one. Like
Yeah.
all those, everything around your vehicle in the States, insurance, you get a complete insurance for like $100 for a year or something, $1,000 for a year on a really nice car.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just things like that. You notice the difference.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, even something like I remember when we first moved here, yes, we bought a car. There was a great
Hmm.
place in Pedesee,
Hmm.
Autos Panama, that
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
worked with Jason to
Hmm.
get our car for us and for
Hmm.
our son as well. So they were amazing as far as helping
Hmm.
us inspect it and get it registered and the
Hmm.
plates and everything. Just made it super easy.
Yeah.
But I do remember that like one of the lights ended up going out on I
Hmm.
guess maybe it was like a turn signal or something. And we
Yeah.
stopped at a place and went in and said, hey, do you happen to have a bulb?
Yeah.
Our light went out. And the guy came out, took the bulb out, put the new bulb in, and we went to pay, and it was
Mm.
like $1.95.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were like, wait,
Yeah.
what? And that was
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
installation,
Uh,
the bulb, everything. And so things like
mhm.
that are really kind of shocking that you're not
Yeah,
prepared for, but in a good way.
like a couple weeks ago, I bought a car with the Toyota dealership
Hmm.
here, and they will come and do your oil change in the development.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like when I first got here 14 years ago, everything was harder. Like
Hmm.
just because it was not there ready yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there weren't the services and the amenities. But now I think it's easier.
Yeah.
And I used to want to go back to the States because I wanted to eat or I wanted to buy something. You don't need to do that anymore. So
No.
like you're basically getting access to everything that you have in the States. Obviously like Tex-Mex. From Texas, you'd love to have great
Yeah.
Tex-Mex food. There's certain things that you have to get that are regional, but like for the most part, the value for what you get more. You have less traffic. You have less waits. You have less
Hmm.
reservations. You have less like hoops to jump through,
Yeah.
and you get like as good or better quality most everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and so like we're in a real sweet spot right now, I think, right? And then the cost of everything, at least with the houses, is so low, so that the value you get for your annual expenditure or your capex or whatever you want to call it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
We're in a really good place right now, and we have good people in the community and everything. So yeah. So trying to think if there's anything else. I had a list of things I wanted to ask you. I tend to ramble,
No,
but I
it's
think I
good.
think we're pretty close with like it might be time now because we've talked for a while. Can everyone that's online, can you please just type in your location where you're from, and see so we can
Yeah.
see where all of our guests are visiting or
From
are
yeah.
chiming in from.
It looks
And
like
then yeah, I just want to add. I think that we want to touch on medical insurance. So,
mhm.
like, I'll speak from my personal example. I was on medical insurance because we had both children here, and so there was a need to have the insurance. But I've since dropped it because it's not expensive, but you're not running into so many situations where you need to have medical insurance that you need to access to. So I've actually dropped my family medical insurance. We do have um, a plan for international insurance, just in case you need brain surgery or back surgery or heart surgery. Those are the ones I said. Anything major like that, you can get it done in Panama, and I mean, everyone here does.
Yeah.
But I had major back surgery in Japan, and I think I pay. I mean, this is the highest you can pay, right? I think I pay something like 8,000 a year to have unlimited medical care over $5,000 anywhere in the world, and like that counts in Cedars-Sinai or New York or whatever. But I've only used it once for my back surgery, so that was beneficial. So that there are options for that. If you want to have international insurance, but like for the most part, you don't need it. The medicine in the city is great.
Hmm.
There's a Johns Hopkins hospital, associated hospital called Punta Pacifica, and that's where I have both of my children. Or Aya did. I can't take credit for that. I didn't deliver babies, right?
Yeah.
I was there, emotional support, yeah.
Yeah.
But she went through all the heavy lifting or pushing. So yeah, like that it's not important. I don't think you need to have like medical coverage in Panama because everything is so inexpensive.
Yeah, I mean, Alex and I, we definitely looked at
Uh-huh.
getting medical insurance,
Yeah.
and I would say when we looked
Mhm.
at it, it was between $200 to $400 a month,
Yeah.
depending upon like what you want to cover, your
Yeah.
coverage and everything.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, like a lot of
Mhm.
people from the U.S., we're used to our employers paying a
Yeah, yeah.
portion of that,
Mhm.
right? But you're still paying a portion of it out of your paycheck,
Yes.
so it is comparable
Mhm.
to what you would
Mhm.
be paying in the U.S. for
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
insurance.
Mhm.
But again, like our doctors to go see our primary care
Mhm.
physician, it's $20
Yeah.
um, for a visit.
Yeah.
My mammogram, I got a mammogram. I mentioned that
Uh,
without insurance, and it
yeah.
was $80.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can get a complete blood panel for like $10 or $15
Yeah.
if you just go to the lab and do a complete blood panel
Mhm.
for $10 or $15.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's things like that that we
Mhm.
have at this point opted not to just
Yeah.
self-insure and just pay what the
Yeah.
doctors are asking and the labs are asking to have the medical
Yeah, I
care.
had it for a while, and I don't think it's necessary,
Yeah.
and I used to be higher risk. Now, since I have my kids, I'm lower risk. I'm not jumping off less stuff, taking
Yeah.
less large waves and everything like that. And so like, but I did opt for that. So that's an option. You
Yeah.
can get like complete care. You can get medical insurance in Panama, but I really don't think it's really necessary.
Yeah.
And there's also a clinic that's being built in Venao.
Mhm.
I think eventually we will have a small clinic here. That's in the plan. As the community grows, we don't have a doctor in the community yet. We have a vet who's reserved a lot right next to
Yep.
us. But I think that like things are happening in such a good way with people coming like to do things to help the community. I think that a doctor is going to be coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers. I'm
Hmm.
manifesting like I do everything else.
Yeah.
So okay, so I think that we talked a lot. Anything else you would like to add? I don't mean to make you
No,
to force anything on you, but
no.
but if you have anything else you'd like to add, you can feel free to.
I
You
mean,
know,
somebody once asked me like recently, like, what's one of the most surprising things,
yeah,
that I wasn't
yeah,
expecting.
yeah, yeah,
And like I said, I think doing as much research as I did ahead of
yeah,
time, I was pretty much, I feel like
uh,
we were really prepared for everything we
yeah.
encountered. But one of the things I think that was surprising
Hmm.
was just how genuine everyone is
Hmm.
and how much they want to help you without any
Hmm.
hidden agenda,
Hmm.
right? I mean,
Totally.
it's kind of like a funny story, I guess,
Hmm.
but like we were at a grocery store and we were looking for dryer sheets
Yeah.
because I forgot to add them to our Price Smart order.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
went there looking for dryer sheets and we went down the laundry aisle and
Hmm.
we're not finding dryer sheets.
Hmm.
So we stopped a gentleman who worked there and asked him if they had dryer sheets. We even
Hmm.
pulled up a picture on our phone to show him.
Hmm.
And he said, I told us he thought they were in the laundry aisle. We
Yeah.
went there and couldn't find him. He's like, no, so sorry. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask. And so we went on, continued our shopping, and we're in a
Hmm.
different aisle. And maybe 5 minutes later, he comes back and
Hmm.
shows me a picture on his phone. And he's like, is this what you're looking for?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yes, yes, dryer sheets. That's perfect. And I was
Uh,
like, where are they? And he basically, when he realized that they didn't have what we were looking
uh,
for, he called another local grocery store, asked them, explained what we were looking
yeah.
for, had them take a picture of the dryer sheets on their shelf,
That's
send it to
cool.
him, tracked me down in the aisle
Yeah.
to come show me that they had dryer sheets, and then gave me directions to the store to go find the dryer. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you don't get that kind of service
Yeah.
in a
I
lot of
I think
places.
that one thing that I really noticed is that Panamanians are very family focused.
Yeah.
This culture, it's understood that if you have plans, and this is good and bad, it's understood that if you have plans to do something and something family oriented comes up, and I don't do this personally. Like I'm always around my family, but like I always try to keep my commitments.
Hmm.
But Panamanians will. Andrew's like, no, you don't.
Hmm.
My schedule is very scattered. So yeah. Anyway, but the point is that they will always like do
Family
the family
first.
thing.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's family comes over, if somebody's sick, they'll just stop everything else and do the family thing, and then everyone else knows that's okay. So I mean that's good. That's good. And it's bad, but I think overall it shows that people care about family and they care about community.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
actually love that because I think sometimes, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of times when you think about your elders,
Yeah.
it's very easy to put them to a nursing home or
Mm.
elder care, assisted
Hmm.
living, and the kids are off to
Uh-huh.
daycare, right? Whereas here in Panama,
Yeah.
they take care of their elders, they
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
care of the kids, right? So you
Yep.
see parents taking care, like, I guess when I
Hmm.
say parents, like my age, taking care of their kids, and then you
Hmm.
also see them taking care of, their parents, their
Yeah.
grandparents. It's
Yeah.
very, very family
Yeah.
focused.
That is
It's
remarkable. That
amazing.
is great. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And then
Sure.
just one more point, yeah, about your house. Your house is a little different
Hmm.
than the original models,
Yeah.
and so you made some changes. So what have you?
Yeah, we did a lot
Mhm.
of changes actually at
Uh-huh.
this point. And it wasn't because it wasn't bad. It was just we
Yeah.
knew different, right? So the
Hmm.
standard model that you guys had was a 3 bedroom
Hmm.
and or a 4 bedroom with a casita.
Yes.
And Alex and I, well, it's just us, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't really need 4 bedrooms. We don't probably don't
Hmm.
need 3 bedrooms as
Hmm.
much as people say, we'll come visit.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
hope they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
do, sometimes they don't.
We have the casita now, so.
Yeah. But we had decided what we wanted to do was to make a 2 bedroom home
Uh-huh.
and just use the space to make the rooms a little bit larger.
Hmm.
So we went from having the standard 3 bedroom or 4 bedroom home that you guys offered and
Hmm.
used the floor plan to kind of expand it and make
Hmm.
much larger rooms.
Hmm.
And it's been great. We've had karaoke breakfast at the
Yeah.
house, and
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
had 30 some people in the
Yeah.
house, and it feels great. Doesn't feel too
Yeah.
crowded. Um, but then recently we were like, we absolutely love the house.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we wanted.
Hmm.
But we were like, it would be nice to have like another expanded yard. We have 3 dogs, right, that we brought
Hmm.
with us. And so we ended up buying the lot next door.
Hmm.
And we did end up building a casita after all, because I think we realized when people have come to visit, or even just friends here in
Hmm.
Panama, if we have like a wine tasting night and they want to just stay the night versus driving back, it's nice to have places for people to stay. So we ended up building we ended up going ahead and building a casita, and then we built an outdoor kitchen because as much as we've enjoyed having our karaoke nights and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
breakfast and things like that, the community as it has grown,
Mm.
it's outgrowing,
Yeah. Yeah.
one
Yeah.
lot. So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we put an outdoor kitchen out there so we can
Uh-huh.
have like the community kind of come together in that area.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
can't have the
it's
whole
been
community
amazing.
in your living room is what you're trying
Whole
to say. Yeah.
whole community in the living
Yeah. Yeah.
room, and
It's
any
a little
excess goes
tight.
to the
It's a
outdoor
little,
kitchen outside.
yeah.
But it's been
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I want to say one thing I'm very proud of is that, when we built Don's house, we had an American contractor do the finishings and do a lot of the details. And so while our houses all are amazing, like I've had people comment, more than one contractor from the US has commented that after seeing Don's house, they said that, the houses in your house with the finishings are better than any other in Panama. They said it's the
Yeah.
highest quality construction, and there was only our fifth house, right? So we're constantly getting better, and we want to make sure everybody's happy and everything is perfect. And I'm a little envious of your house, to be honest, because I was one of the first houses.
Yeah.
But
And we actually have heard that too.
yeah.
We've actually heard people who are builders
Yeah.
say that to us as well.
Yeah,
That the
yeah,
finishes were
it's
great.
and we so yeah, we and the contractors the subcontractors we use to build it, they're very eager to improve, and they're eager to listen. So you guys are the first ones to have a Murphy bed, and
Yeah.
you're the first ones to have the outside barbecue, and it took a little bit of teamwork to get it to where it's
Yeah.
perfect. And I think that other people in the community, it's another thing you guys have done that's going to contribute more to the community, is that I think people are going to want your model. They're going to want the one house without the casita, and then an other lot next to it with the casita and a barbecue
Yeah.
with additional parking. So I think your journey has put the community and the development on the right path.
Yeah. The Murphy bed is a game
Yeah,
changer.
Murphy bed is pretty cool.
It is a game changer. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Mhm.
Is there something we would do differently though? I'm trying to think if there's anything that we would do
Mhm.
differently with the way that we
Mhm.
built out our house. I don't think so though.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we were really I put a lot of thought into it,
Yeah.
and then I really listened to the suggestions that you guys
Mhm.
gave us.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anything that I would change with the way
That's
we
great.
built it out.
I mean, like having seen your house, would like my house to be a little more like your house. I would like my wife wants a bathtub, and we should make the casita a little bigger so that it has the Murphy bed, and it has maybe a bathtub in there, or the complete like mini kitchen, which is
Yeah.
important. And so those we will kind of persuade everyone to adapt and take advantage of those models
Yeah.
that you guys have created.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sure. Where are we
Okay.
from? Okay, so I'm
Uh-huh.
originally from Maryland.
Uh-huh.
My husband's originally from Miami.
Yeah.
We were most recently living in Texas when we decided to move here, and
Mhm.
life there was great. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had built a beautiful house on 10
Mhm.
acres.
Yeah.
We were planning on dying there.
Mhm.
And then life had other plans,
Don't
right?
die, Dawn.
No, not
We
yet.
need you.
And not there anyway,
We
here.
need you. A lot of life.
Um,
We have a lot of life here. We're all gonna live forever.
yeah, no, but so
Fountain
that,
of youth in the waterfall.
I know.
Yeah,
But that's where we ended up moving from.
yeah.
We had 3 dogs and a cat,
Mhm.
and our son and daughter-in-law had a dog and cat.
Uh-huh.
So when we were moving here, it was, 4 dogs,
Mhm.
2 cats, my
Mhm.
husband, son, daughter-in-law, 2 grandkids, and then my niece. So there was a huge house full. But it was amazing. And it's kind of like things just fell into place,
Mhm.
right? And they say like the universe puts you where you're supposed to be. It kind of falls
Mhm.
into place. But on our very first trip out here, I was reading the magazine in the back of the airline seat,
Mhm.
and there was a article about a relocation company.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'll take a picture of it. If we
Mhm.
end up going to Panama and loving it, maybe one day we'll move there in 5 years, and I'll need this. And when we got back home and knew that we loved it, I started joining a lot of the different expat groups on Facebook.
Mhm.
And there was one guy's name who kept popping up in that, and I ended up reaching out to him. His name was Jaime, and he is from
Mhm.
Logistic Freight Group.
Mhm.
And I reached out to him. He was very responsive, and I set up a call. And then I
Mhm.
was just like, wait a minute. The night before the call, is like, I had that article that I took a picture of. So I go back and scroll through all my
Yeah,
photos,
yeah.
and I find the article, and it turns out it was the same exact person that was
Ah.
being referenced in the Facebook group. So I'm like, well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get on there. He goes over everything. It was very detailed
Mhm.
about what we would need, and like, should we bring our car? Should we not
Mhm.
bring our car?
Mhm.
We opted in the end not to bring our
Mm.
car. And to buy cars here for a couple of reasons. One,
Mhm.
just so that we knew that we'd be able to find the parts should something go wrong. Also, it's really good to have 4-wheel drive here,
For sure.
so you can go exploring.
Mhm.
Anyway, it turned out as we were talking to this guy, Jaime, it turned out that him and my husband went to school together.
Wow.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird how it all just kind of came together.
Yeah.
Also, just looking at the different expat groups, there was recommendation for Pets Go Global. And so we ended up using them to help move our pets here. Again, great company. They took
Yeah.
care of everything. And so that's the thing. I think, ask for advice, ask for
For sure.
resources,
For sure.
get some advice and things like that. But the move was, honestly, it was very
Mhm.
seamless. You guys
Yeah.
made it really easy for us to get here. I mean, when I tell everybody we're moving to Panama, and they're like, well, when are you moving? And we're like, well, the house will be done in 6 months. Everyone was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you're building a house in 6 months. And I'm like, they said they could. And they're like, yeah, but haven't you heard it's Panama? Nothing's ever on time. And I'm like,
even people in town told you we wouldn't build in 6 months.
100%. Yeah.
And we're like, nope, it's burned. We did it.
Yeah. I mean, it was delivered on the day that it was supposed to be delivered. And same thing with our son's house or whatever. So yeah, I mean, you guys have delivered on time every single time, and it's been crazy to
That's great.
see that. It's been good.
Yeah, it makes me happy that you're happy,
Yeah.
And I think if we tried to hire somebody to be more happy about the development and everything, like, it would be very hard to replicate Dawn, which is why she's also she's a multifaceted positive contributor to, like, the growth of the community and the energy in the community. So I thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
So do we want to open it up to questions, or if you want to say something else?
I think, other than the
we've
fact,
kept you for so long now. It's like 45 minutes or longer. We enter like an hour, right?
Yeah.
So
no.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, great. Oh, that's interesting. So tomorrow I have to meet the guy. His name is James Cornelius. He has a complete garden and a ranch, and he has pigs and he has cows. And we're going to leverage our relationship with him. He's coming tomorrow. I have to contact him after this, and he's going to come and help us get that going. So we plan to have a community garden. He's going to communicate about how much we need for how many people we expect in the future, and so we're going to take the first steps with that. So based on that, the question was will we have a community garden with eggs and chickens, and the question, the answer is we don't know exactly just yet. We have to talk to him because it's all kind of symbiotic. You can't have one without the other. It has to all be a part of one big ecosystem. So should I read the questions? I didn't know we were actually on questions. Are we on questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I
So if
mean,
we're
I will say though, I mean, as far as the eggs go, even if we don't have chickens in the
yeah,
neighborhood, there
yeah,
are local people around
yeah,
that have like eggs for sale. You can buy
yes.
eggs right around the
But we
corner.
just want to make sure that in the event that we need to make sure we are all self-contained and self-sustainable, it's my dream and it's in the plans. Like I think everyone's on board with that to have our own food.
Yeah.
And why not? We have all this land, right? And it's arable, and we have our own water. So like, if we're not having something to that regard, we're I think we're making a mistake. And so that we're starting that process tomorrow. Like it's good you reminded me that to talk to
Yeah.
him. Okay.
Yeah.
These are these questions from okay. So is there anything that you were pleasantly surprised about the whole experience about moving to another country?
I mean, I did say about how
Yeah,
helpful everyone
yeah,
was.
yeah,
I think something that probably
yeah.
makes people nervous about
Mhm.
moving here if they don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I think that could be
Hmm.
something that makes people a little bit nervous. But
Hmm.
honestly, I mean, my husband is fluent in Spanish, so I
Yeah.
do feel like I'm lucky in that respect. But
Yes.
um, from interacting with
Hmm.
locals and even people who live here and speak Spanish,
Hmm.
as long as you're trying, they're
Yeah.
so helpful, right?
That's right.
You don't always get it exactly right, but
Hmm.
they do take the time to listen and to teach you. I
Hmm.
think one of the
Yeah.
best conversations I had was actually at Wow Beach Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the pool
Uh-huh.
at Wow Beach Hotel, and there was a little 11-year-old girl
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there, and she came over and started interacting with
Yeah.
me and Skylar, and she only spoke Spanish,
Uh-huh.
and so I was using my limited Spanish, but having a conversation. And when I would say something, she would say, "Oh, you mean?" And then she would actually
Actually
correct.
help you.
But it was great. And I was like, I
Oh,
want to
that's
hire you
great.
as a Spanish teacher because it was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But no, I mean, everybody
Uh-huh.
has been super helpful
Yeah.
in helping you navigate learning a new language and teaching
Yes.
you. And then, like Charlemos that Geraldine started has been
Hmm.
amazing to help as well.
Hmm.
But even all of the people in the neighborhood, like the team that you have
Hmm.
here
Yeah.
and the construction workers,
Yeah.
I mean, they're so great as far as like helping us
Yeah.
learn how to
Yeah.
navigate, answer questions, and things like that.
It was great that they also participated in the dodgeball, and
Yeah,
they did really well. So like the guys that built the roads, and another construction team,
yeah,
and then our development team. So like they were integrating with the expats, and everyone
yeah.
was together having a good time. And that goes back to when you guys had that dinner,
And we did the
the
cookout.
winners, and then everybody got
Mm,
together after the
mm.
dodgeball. So that's I grew up in Hawaii, and I realize how important it is to integrate the community. You can't just be the expats and be isolated. You want to make sure that everyone's getting the best out of each other,
Yeah.
and really enjoying the different cultures and mixing. My wife said that last night about the soccer. She said,
Mhm.
she's like, I don't know any other place around that where you're able to bring all these different types of people
Yeah.
together. You had like Panamanians, you had like different cultures are all in one place, and like so that made me feel pretty special. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think the most surprising thing is that the language has not been a barrier at
yeah,
all.
hmm,
And again, just how welcoming everyone is.
yeah,
Like
hmm,
the guy who gave us the tour when we
yeah,
first came to Panama
hmm,
said, as a rule, if you
yeah,
see a party happening and you want to join it, you just go introduce yourself. And we were
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like, okay, like,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But we've actually seen it happen
yeah.
like
In Kanye,
live.
it's like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, when
Yeah,
we walked by to go look at the rice harvest
yeah,
festival, they welcomed us in and can we feed you breakfast? Would you like
yeah,
some coffee? And we were like,
yeah,
okay. And so we introduced ourselves, and
yeah.
then they taught us how to pick rice. And
Oh,
then they
that's
were
cool.
like, hey, come back for lunch at
Yeah.
11 o'clock. And so,
Uh,
we came back and we made some brownies and took some brownies over for lunch because we wanted
yeah,
to kind of give back also. But just everyone is just so welcoming as far as
yeah,
wanting to interact and get to
yeah,
know you, and just
yeah,
really
yeah,
again just genuine authentic friendships that are being
yeah.
built
That's
here.
great. That is
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. See if there's any other questions that are
Yeah,
popping
we're
up.
still waiting for a few more questions. Hopefully, our setup here is much better than before, and this can be one we can work with. Scott, what are you most excited about as the community keeps growing up around you? So, I have to be honest. I can kind of see where it's going to go. Like, I have expectations, and I can kind of see the same for Venao. Like, that I know because I've been to so many different countries. I've seen how it grows, but I'm excited for the unexpected positive contributions that people made. I didn't expect you to be this cool, or Andrew. I didn't expect either of you to be actually like, I thought I was gonna have to be pushing and selling, but like everything you guys do. I mean, Andrew's doing a website, and like Paul's working on like AI stuff for us. Like you are, and your family is an instant community, and you're bringing energy. I could go down a list. I don't want to waste time, but I don't think anyone is here that isn't helping with a purpose.
Yeah.
So like if we continue this way, like we're gonna have a utopia.
Yeah.
I swear. Like it's like barter town. Like we won't need money. We will be able to share like our services, and so I like that. I can see the physical growth. I can see with the houses. I can see the commercial area, but I'm excited to see what happens with the community. And my job right now, I'm so busy. I'm just trying to get everything stabilized so I can be more involved in the community. Like I have to work to make sure everything is working properly, and make sure everything is moving in the right direction. But like one thing I kind of I kind of regret is I don't have enough time to spend with everybody. And I know you guys are doing stuff every day, and you're walking the dog. Like my dog spends more time with you guys. So like that's something I want to slow down when everything is kind of it's growing on its own. Right. The community right now it's a toddler at best, right? And once it gets to be adolescent, preteen, then it just kind of goes on its own. So I'm looking forward to the time where it's taken and I don't have to assist it so much, and then I can enjoy it more, and to see what kind of people that we can bring, because like I don't know any other community like anywhere in the world that it's this young and has this much positive energy. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to name any developments in Venao or anything, but I know that there's a lot of other communities in this area, and also like beyond Pedasi, and it's where people live together, but they don't live together. You know what I mean? Like they live next to each other. And that was always the problem in like Los Angeles, right? You have people just living on top of each other, and they're passing each other. There's so many people, but it's so lonely. You know what I mean? Like and that's even in Texas is like that. And you have neighborhoods where you're just far enough away from each other where you don't talk to each other. And the only time you interact is like when you want to tell somebody to turn their music down or whatever. And we rent here. We have long-term rentals here, so it lends to bringing families, and that helps the community. So like I'm just excited to see like what other characters pop up, and what other services they're providing. That's for me. That's
It's been really cool too, because like when we do our outdoor movie nights, so like we'll just put a pole in the neighborhood. That's the thing. Like nobody in the neighborhood like runs it. Like it's just like, hey, let's do a poll, right? And then like we started a book club. Jess actually, she started a book club, and we've got a book club that we're doing now. Paul started action movie night. Right?
That's right.
And so
I missed the last one.
It's one of those things where if you want something or you miss something or you need something, you just make it happen. Right? You start a language class, you start an action movie night, you start outdoor, you start UFC night, like all the things that we've all just started. Right?
It's great. It's great. The lots that come back. Do you feel like you're looking right into your neighbor's house, or is there good privacy? No, I don't even hear the rain. Like I don't hear it. There lots are that way for a reason, because we need to be cost effective. But like I've said, it's sometimes I feel like we in a positive way, we're living like in a college dorm where we can just walk down and knock on the door and go see each other. The thing is now in the subsequent phases, it appears that some people are choosing to have more than one lot, right? Like Dawn has. So if you would like to have a little more space, you can choose another lot. So that's an option. We are probably a little closer than most neighborhoods in the United States, but we're also going for a reasonable price point. And I think I would sometimes try to wonder why everything is going so well here, and you don't want to mess with the model. And maybe there's something about our energy being close to each other, like maybe that helps also. But it doesn't feel close at all. Like to me, I don't notice this house, and I'm right there, and I don't notice any of the other houses really. Our windows face out, and they face the mountains. They're not looking into each other's houses. There are some other developments, and you could put plants between your houses, and so it doesn't feel like. If it may look like it's close together, it doesn't feel like it.
I would say with the greenery that we have kind of put in our yards, and the bougainvilleas, which have grown
Yeah.
hugely.
Yeah.
The palms, things like that. You just, for me, it feels very lush and very tropical. I've never looked and seen anything going on in the house next door.
Yeah. Well, even though
And
you're right next to your family, so the only really house that looks into another one is you guys looking into your other family, you
yeah,
know?
or lot 7, but I've never
Yeah.
seen anything happen in lot
Ah,
7.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that the houses are designed with these big windows and
hmm
they're really high ceilings so that it stays cool inside.
Yeah.
And the windows face out to the mountains. So a lot of houses in the US, like they don't have really windows in the front. It's very private. And then they have the windows kind of on the side looking into like a fence or something. But like ours, like the windows where you're looking out are face nature. So
Yeah, I would say one of the things that I do like about the lots being smaller, even though we just bought a
uh,
little lot, so it sounds
uh,
almost hypocritical,
mm,
is when we had just a single lot, it felt very intimate.
yeah,
We could sit there in our pool, look at the stars, drink
yeah,
wine, and it felt very intimate and
uh-huh,
cozy. But also, like I said, when we lived in Texas, we had 10 acres, and we had an acre fenced in, and like we didn't want to spend all day doing yard work. Like
yeah,
we want to go out and live. We
yeah,
don't want to spend all day doing yard work. And if we
yeah,
need more space, we can go out into the field. We can go to the
yeah.
beach. We can go wherever we need to if we feel like we need more space. But we haven't actually felt that way at
Now
all.
that I've lived outside of the United States long for a while, I go back to the States and watch a football game or something, and like, there's so much money dedicated to like lawn care, and you're not growing anything. And I was just like, why are we?
Yeah.
Why couldn't people have chickens, or like why couldn't people be leveraging their yard for some value? So
Yeah.
this is why the community garden is great, and the yards don't take up, they're not cumbersome,
Yeah.
and then the pool's the right size, and we can make the pools bigger if you want. And so yeah, and then the next question was, do you hear your neighbors? I
Mm-mm.
never hear anybody. It's actually shocking. I sometimes wonder. I can see you guys down there, like if you're doing movie night or something or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm not there. You can see it, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And the houses are actually like they're designed to be fairly like aerated and porous with the air from the windows.
Yeah.
And but you still like you don't hear
Mm-mm.
like when it rains. I can sometimes hear a little bit if they're on the casita. If the rain's in the casita, you can never really hear it hitting the
Yeah.
roof. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's but like if somebody yelled for help, you probably could hear them.
I mean, I actually
Like
don't
if you
even
needed
know.
help, you
Yeah.
could run outside and be like, oh, or something like
Yeah.
not that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like a thing.
No, but they're pretty well insulated. I
Yeah.
mean, even there's times when if I'm in the
Yeah.
back bedroom and Alex is watching TV, like I
Yeah.
can't even hear that.
Yeah.
It's pretty well insulated for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't hear any construction outside or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's
hmm
actually fairly
Yeah.
quiet,
hmm
very peaceful.
hmm Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Time to wrap up. That's not a question.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Wow. This is the longest one we've done because
Sorry.
we've had a guest that has had a lot of valuable and interesting things to say. Dawn, thank you very much for being on the show with us.
Yeah.
and I don't thank Andrew also for his help with all the tech stuff. And I think we're getting to a point where like we're all comfortable. The lighting is good. The sound is good. I hope. I wasn't able to see how many people were on this time, but I hope we had some people were able to get some questions answered and got some good information from a reliable source who, like I said, is not a paid actor. And yeah, I guess that's it. So we'll do another one in a month. And if you have any other questions, like you can contact us directly. And we're about to release like a really good like 10-minute video about the development. We're very close to doing that. I've been working on it for a while, and it shows a lot about the community, and it also has first-person experiences from a bunch of different people in the community. So we're really excited about that, and we know that's going to bring a lot of positive traction, and hopefully we have more good people coming. So now's the time if you're interested to come down and check things out, because I don't think we're going to have this phase. There's not going to be many left for too long because we've got good traction and good energy with the community and then the growth. So
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. There more questions?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dawn, very
Yeah.
much. I great.